Hey guys, Angelo Lambropoulos, Director of Lambros Realty here. You're watching our 7th episode of FAQu, Frequently Asked Questions, in which we answer for you as a consumer. So what I'm going to talk to you today about is the advantages of listing your property off market. Now what I mean by this is simple, okay? So listing off market in order to sell off market if the price is right. Alternatively, you can then take it publicly if you don't get the price you achieve. So I'm going to explain the advantages of why this procedure should be used a lot more often, not used often enough, and I'm hoping by the end of this you'll see the logic behind it. So the first point I want to talk to you about is days on market and the digital footprint. Now, the advantage of listing off market is you're not going to compromise days on market as you would on a real estate or domain, for argument's sake. So what I'm getting at is this, is if you're advised to go on real estate and domain before testing privately, what you run the risk of is the campaign falling through, property not selling. You then compromise your negotiation position. Now, what makes a lot more sense is listing it privately, ascertaining fair market feedback, and then you will obviously determine what accurate price would be to hit real estate and domain if that was the path you choose. So what the advantage here as well is this, is if you're not happy with the performance of your agent, you would rather get rid of them at this point if you feel that, okay, I don't think they're really working as they said they would. I don't think you catch them out basically, right? So you'd rather, cancel it there than take it to real estate and domain and find out that, you know what, this agent's not as strong as I'd anticipated. They talk the talk, but they can't walk the walk. So it's a good little tester. Now the other point worth mentioning is you get to also test the strength of the agent's database, right? Prior to listing on the public networks. So you get to test the credibility, of the agent's negotiation and marketing ability. Now, what this does, naturally agents are telling you they've got buyers for your home, and sure, they do. But what fascinates me and what I find amusing is they then take it to real estate and domain without testing the market privately, and you, as a consumer, are having to pay marketing for the buyer that they say they already have. Now, doesn't that contradict itself? So, if this so-called buyer database is strong, they shouldn't have a problem bringing buyers through your property and getting you, a price you deserve or a price that you'd happily sell it. So, the whole point of this is you can test the market with no risk, okay? So, let's say you've got a 2 million, you believe your property is worth 2 million, right? And, contrary to what the fair market price is indicating, it may very well be 1.7. At this point of the campaign, you've got nothing to lose. So this is the point where, the agent can obviously try and do what they can, but at the same token, you're not going to compromise days on market. Would you ask for a 2 million in a public forum such as real estate or domain for a property that's only realistically worth 1.7, no, you will burn the property, and then people will sit there going, why hasn't it sold, and public humiliation. So that's the beauty of also using this campaign. So giving a couple of examples of off-market sales in which we've achieved, I won't bore you in too much detail, but just to give you a couple of comparisons, 2 examples that spring to mind. So there was one we had in Calderwood Road, Galston, number 2. So you're more than welcome to ask us for this evidence because we're happy to provide it. We went off market, so using our private database and negotiating with buyers we had. Now, off market, we sold it for 2.1. Okay. Now, just to give you an idea, there was an independent valuation done on that home for 1.65. Okay, so just showing you the power of that result. Now, this is a good test and an honest assessment, because the 2.1 off market, whilst it was signed and the check was put forward, it didn't end up going through, which forced us to take it publicly, admittedly. Now, on the public forum, where we took it on Real Estate and Domain, it sold for 1.975. Now, admittedly, still a solid result, in the sense that what these owners were quoted was 1.6 to 1.8, but in comparison to what we got with our database off market, it was no comparison, right? So that's an example of understanding your buyers, qualifying, showing the strength of your database. That's what's achievable. Now, another example would be one we sold in Cherrybrook, a duplex. Okay, so 1228 Purchase Road to be exact. Now, to give you an idea, fair market price was realistically probably about 1.1 to 1.5, sold off market for 1.29. Now, this obviously didn't go on Real Estate or Domain, but to give you an idea, at this point in time, that is the highest duplex sale in Cherrybrook, and that was sold in September of 2016. Okay, so the thing is this: if you treat the buyers with respect and you negotiate with them, you give them the time of day, you ask them the right questions, you know what they're looking for, you know what? They'll pay more. Not always, but they will, and they can. And look, to give you an example of one that we took off market and thought, all right, well, this is a scenario where we should take it on Real Estate and Domain, because we need to take it to the public forum. But what it allowed us to do was to ascertain what fair market price would be in order for us to sell on Real Estate and Domain. So this was 8 Chatham Court, Cherrybrook. We had an off-market offer of 1.24, which, I believe 1.25, in fairness, was the right price for the owners. That was an offer in which we declined. So we took it to Real Estate and Domain, and we sold it for 1.25, which was an extra $10,000 for the owners. So sometimes you've got to use your own discretion and understand what the market's doing. But what you can do is, obviously, when you test it privately and then take it public, you're on the front foot. If you take it publicly, it's all up to chance, right? We'll let the market decide, we'll let the market do this. And you know what? The market is never going to dictate the best price for your home, right? You want to be, and look, I get it. If you're in a rush and you need to sell, well, then you put it straight to Real Estate and Domain, and you use a fairly aggressive campaign to have you sold. But for the vast majority out there, naturally you want the best price for your home. You want a system that can allow you to do it. So, why not test the water before you dive in and put all sorts of stress on yourself? So that's another example of the advantage. So yeah, you may not get offers that you like in the private, the off-market segment of marketing, but at least you know where you stand when you hit it on the public forum. Okay, so I hope that sort of clarifies that there. The other point is this: you get to ascertain accurate market feedback prior to launching on the public networks if required. So as I touched on before, you'll know exactly what fair market price is. Once you hit fair market price, well, multiple bids or whatever, private treaty auction, whatever you decide to use, at least that way it'll give you an accurate measure of the system that'll work best when you take it to the public forum. Okay. The other beauty of this is it doesn't give agents any reason whatsoever to charge you as a consumer marketing at this stage of the campaign, right? This will allow them to prove their worth. Now, if they've got the buyers they claim they do, they should be coming in and looking at your property. Now, look, yeah, I get it. Not everybody's going to like it, and you may not get an offer to purchase, but at least you'll be getting accurate feedback that way. The problem with the public forum is the feedback is this: you have open homes. You have open home invitations that go around to your neighbors. You then get feedback coming back telling you that we had 40 parties through, and the market's telling us that your 1.7 home is actually worth 1.5. Well, guess what? 90% of the market shouldn't be there because they're your neighbours. Haven't been qualified properly. Hate to break it to you, but that's, if you want your neighbours coming through your home, be my guest. But I would assume that if you're a serious seller, you want the highest price. Now, the beauty of the private forum is, all right, well, how aggressively is your agent marketing and trying to find the right buyer? Taking it public and putting open home invitations and getting the neighbours in for a sticky beak isn't accurate market feedback. If you want to undersell your house, that's the way to do it. So again, this will allow you to ascertain that, all right, well, is the agent here after a quick sale, or will they obviously look at my best interests and work their database? And obviously they should provide you with accurate feedback exactly on what's going on. But it's, the beauty of this is it's a more cautious approach. It's more calculated, and if you don't sell off market for the price you're looking for, once you take it public, well, you know exactly where fair market price sits, and you can put your mind at ease. Okay. And the other beauty is this: you don't necessarily need to worry about wasting time and money, mind you, on renovations. Okay, so if you can get the price you want without having to worry about renovations, you can get on with your move and go elsewhere. So really what you want to look at is your changeover price here. Now, it's all fine and dandy to sell for a cracking price, okay? But the problem is this: if you've invested $50,000 in renovations, why not just sell it for $50,000 less and be done with it? So really, the changeover price is what you need to be aware of. Now, the other beauty of this is you can take a simultaneous approach where you as the home seller can prepare your property and renovate it whilst your agent is still showing it to buyers off their database. Now, it's a win-win. Somebody can come in and buy it at the price you're anticipating, or you complete the renovations. Once they're complete, you've got it on the public forum. So you're not just waiting to do your renovations, take it straight to Real Estate or Domain, the two main public networks there, and then you work out that, hey, I've done all these renovations, but the buyers don't like my property because I'm close to an easement, or I'm close to a rail line that's too noisy. No amount of renovation is really going to fix that. So basically, the key is this, okay, that the point of the off-market listing is to ascertain what the market is doing. Now, given the couple of scenarios I spoke of before, it can work in your favor and you can get some good prices. Now, if it doesn't work in your favor and you're not getting the price you had anticipated, at least it's a nice little reality check, and then you can sit back and think, maybe selling isn't the right thing to do. All right, maybe I need to hold off before I put it on Real Estate or Domain because nobody's biting. At the end of the day, an agency with a solid database that has their buyers nurtured will be able to bring people through. Now, I strongly urge you to exercise with caution if nobody's coming through at this stage of the campaign. One, their database isn't as strong as they've told you, okay? Or two, your asking price is too high, in which case a nice little reality check. But if your asking price is too high, look, at least then you know that, all right, well, you know what? Maybe selling's not the option. I'll hold off because the market's not really meeting my expectations. Now, majority of the time, without a doubt, the open marketplace being Real Estate and Domain is where you want to be. Obviously, you're appealing to the masses, and obviously you'll substitute that with other marketing elements as well, which I won't go into too much detail. But I guess what I'm trying to get at here is you're using a two-phase marketing system as opposed to diving straight in the deep end and hoping that a buyer's out there to pay the dream price. You want to take a more calculated approach to make sure that you do get the price you're looking for. And then you can sort of weigh up, all right, well, what's the strategic approach? If I take it public, is it a private treaty sale system that I should use as opposed to the auction I've been advised? Or should I use an auction as opposed to the private treaty I've been advised? So it'll give you good, accurate feedback as to what approach to take next. So that's the big advantage of listing off market before you take it public. I'd strongly encourage, a lot of you sellers out there to take it seriously. It's a good way to obviously test the skill of your agent, to test the sincerity of their claims, and it's a good test to see how your property appeals to the market. So again, my name's Angelo Lambropoulos, Director of Lambros Realty. I hope I haven't put you guys to sleep with this 15-16 minute talk. But if you have any further questions or anything you'd like to talk about, you're more than welcome to call me on 0286287128, or you can visit our office at Shop 2132 Shepherds Drive, Cherrybrook, which is Apple Tree Shops, or you can email me on info@lambrosrealty.com.au. So if you have any further questions or anything of the sort, email. As I said, this will also be posted on Facebook as well. Please, put your notes in the comments section if there's something you want me to further elaborate or something that didn't make sense. Obviously, I'm recording this live, so naturally there's things I probably would have missed and things I'll sit back later going, gee, why didn't I say that? But hey, ask me the question, happy to answer. And I hope this has given you a bit more insight on how to go about marketing your home for sale. Thanks for watching.